crossing things.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. All right. Yes, thank you. From Hollywood, California, Nerdmelt Theater, Harmontown is now in session. Yes, exactly. Yes. I am your comptroller, Jeff Brian Davis. Yes, thank you very much. And keep that going for the mayor of Harmontown, MC Mr. Dan Harmon.
Yo.
Give him a laugh.
Yo. Hip hop, hippity hop, hip hop, hip hop, hippity hop, hippity hop, hip hop, hip hop, hip hop. Hold on, hip hop, hip hop, hip hop. I got problems, motherfucker. Hip hop has gotten sad and lonely and largely auto-tune driven. I got sadness. I got hip hop sadness. Yeah, I got hip hop sadness. Why don't you call me on the phone? Why don't you love me? Why don't you pay me to fuck you? Why don't you worship me? Why are you trying to kill me? I got bigger problems than you, motherfucker. I'm a sad hip-hop man. Pay me to fuck you, or I'll shoot you. Just kidding. I'd rather shoot myself. I do so many drugs. I didn't want to rhyme it with shelf, but what you gonna do? Yo, I got problems in work. I got problems in the middle, in the top of my dick. I got problems with all of them face. I got problems. I got lonely, sad, drug-addled problems. I don't believe in God no more, but if I did, I'd fuck him so hard and go out the door. I fuck the devil too. I'll go rule in hell and say, how about you? I'm gonna fuck the devil hard, cause I'm so sad and lonely. I'm a hip-hop sad, modern hip-hop lonely man. And I got my auto-tune to prove I could afford to be in a studio. Why is that a thing now? Didn't Cher do this? I don't want to sound old, but didn't Cher do this? Why is everyone doing it? It seems like the 80s. And there's some cool things about the 80s. I don't want to shit on them, cause the Duffer Brothers are here, and I think they like the 80s. I think they kinda like the 80s. But I don't like the ladies, because they're just like a drug detoxifying my soul. I hang myself with my flow. Oh, my neck is broken and my soul is empty. I'm a modern hip-hop guy, I'm sad. It's emo hip-hop, but it's not any less violent. Who could have predicted this phenomenon? It's weird and kind of admirable, but fuck you, mama so hard she turned into a bull. It was ancient Greek in that regard. I'm gonna go cross the river Styx and cut myself with a shard of myself. I'm trying to, I don't want to be like one of those guys that's like, oh, I'm rapping, and then it's like, my name is something and I'm here to say, and then you're like, come on, the rap doesn't sound like that anymore, so I listened to more rap, and I was like, geez, these guys are so... They're so sad.
Oh, yeah.
It's really, you really couldn't have predicted it, because it was sort of, what, is it, it's still, they're so sad.
Okay, so there's the knob that's supposed to change key. I guess I wish I knew more about music. I don't think that one works. I think we need to send that back. But then there's a knob that says gender. And it has two settings. Which we now know it shouldn't. It should be a continuum. But its two settings are this, which is 1999 Prince, the Prince definition, and
then this, which is just Alvin.
That's the Parliament Funkadelic voice.
Yeah, we're going to a planet of music.
Say Atomic Dog.
I hope you bring some pussy.
It ain't about that. It's about music.
What are you, gay?
No, I'm a human being.
Sounds gay.
Then maybe all humans are gay. Maybe we'd like to fuck music.
You can do it somewhere else. 'Cause I'm straight. Because it's 1983 and I'm not allowed to be
gay.
Resulting in quite a lot of fantastical costumes and hairstyles. Because when you put your thumb over a hose, it
sprays everywhere.
Oh yeah. You're like the new Reggie Watts.
What's that?
You're like the new Reggie Watts, I think. This is the new show.
I don't. What does Reggie Watts do?
He's got a delay pedal. He's great.
Oh no! I was not the first person to think of using it comedically.
Oh no! Oh honey! Oh no!
Well, all right. I'll pull the ripcord. I have some ventriloquist dummies in the back. I've got one that's a terrorist.
Oh, they're not.
But he's not too bright. He blows himself up. I make fun of him.
So I hear we have one guest here who wasn't here when we started the show.
Oh, you're okay. Well, all right. Well, it's 9/11, so let's bring out Andy Dick and.
I don't think it's him. I think it's just Dino.
Oh, all right. Well, it's 9/11, so let's bring out Dino.
Yeah.
Happy 9/11.
Yeah, in remembrance, we're not going to point out when it becomes 9/11 tonight, I think.
Tonight it's all one big remembrance.
Yeah.
Did you see the clip that was circulating? It was funny.
The guy on the Stairmaster?
No.
There was a fireman wearing all his gear and did like 157 steps or whatever they did on the Stairmaster.
Oh.
I know, it's sad.
I love misguided sincerity. I love that. I love it that guy I hope he was crying. I'm not because I want to make fun of him, but
he was sad.
But I love that. I like that.
Yeah.
There was a clip that was circulating from around 9/11 when it's like as the footage of the towers are falling, and Donald Trump is who then is only a Pizza Hut spokesman and reality show host. Like he's just talking about, and he's like, and he knows 9/11 is happening, and he knows fully well he's in a labyrinth of things to say wrong, and he comes up with, he's just like, yeah, by the way, I'm over at 60 Trump Boulevard or whatever, which was the tallest building before the World Trade Center, and then for a while it was the second tallest, but now it's the tallest again. Like, I didn't watch the actual clip, but that's the description of what's happening, is that he's just like, yeah, why not? I mean, what can happen? I'm famous for my honesty and my charm. Why don't I just go right through those saloon doors and just start whipping around like a little carousel?
I know, it's so hacky that his name is Trump, right? Yeah. That's all he cares about.
Yeah, he cares about trumping.
Yeah. I'm saying God's hacky, not me.
No, yeah, yeah. Well, did you see my Reggie Watts?
Yeah. I just got out of band practice. I could use that for my voice.
Yeah,
because I'm not a good singer. I'm starting a band. You know that. I'm just telling the world.
You've started a band?
So you're here because Feral Audio now has a show with you and Andy on it.
That's right, yeah.
Called
Skull Juice.
Skull Juice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just I kind of just do it because Andy needs someone to talk to every now and then. Like everyone's cut him out of his life.
All right. But and he's like, well, you guys just did this thing where you went. Yeah,
we just went to New York and we read an old script that I wrote with Scott Adsit, Stephen Colbert, and Mike Stoynoff of TV's Blossom fame. He played the older brother, Anthony, the ex-drug addict.
Tony Blossom?
The only person less famous was me there up on that. Louis was on. Yeah, we wrote Louis into the script, and we went to New York.
You guys did a reading of the script that you had written in the old days that was kind of like before 30 Rock. It was like a script you had written that was like behind the scenes at SNL type show.
That's right, yeah. Barry Levinson hired me to write it. He wanted it to be like behind the scenes of an Ed Sullivan show with like jugglers and monkeys and stuff. And I'm like, I have no fucking clue what that means. And I said, what about SNL? He's like, that's a dumb idea. And we argued the whole time. But so this was kind of like a hybrid. But so then we went and read it, and Smigel was part of it, Robert Smigel. And it was fun. Everyone had a good time except for Andy. Is Andy here yet?
Yeah.
So I could talk behind his back. He was so depressed afterwards. He's like, why was I even there? It was all about you and your friends and how you keep in touch with people.
Yeah. He's such a, he was on Great Minds, the History Channel thing, and it's like, he's amazing. He'll be here any second, and he's very funny and wonderful.
He's great, yeah.
When he's like, when he's somebody said he's right here. What is it? Is he like just?
Just bring him in. There he is.
Yeah.
Thank God you walked in when I said you were great. You didn't hear that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, he's great.
Like that. Okay.
All right. Yeah. I mean, he's putting it in vibrate. I
Happy
assume.
9/11, buddy.
No, I'm putting it on. I'm Snapchatting these lovely people. Look at them. I love them. Hi, everybody. Say hi. Look at, how sweet. Oh, Grumpy Gus.
Grumpy Gus.
I think we were about to talk about, what I would like to talk about with Andy, because it's easy enough to go like, oh, Andy's amazing. Like I think there was a little phase of your career where it's like, you're like the Clown Prince, or like, people are going like, oh, Andy Dick, and then you like there's an unspoken oh, him. Yeah, cautionary. It's like you were. I always looked at you as like Pan, like from Greek mythology. Like you're a Pan, like where we get the word
sexy.
Panic. It's like half goat, and he's got a flute, and he like comes down the mountain and causes fucking hysteria and craziness, and like for the sake of it, and then either disappears or gets beat up by Wesley Snipes in a bathroom. Did you have an encounter with Wesley Snipes? Okay. Yeah. All right. So, but.
Can I tell you what happened with that?
I think I know. Well,
I dropped the N bomb.
Right.
It was,
Oh, that's bad, Andy. That's a no-no.
But
we have a whole podcast that just went up. Sorry, I don't want to derail, but it's about how Andy read an article about how black people's eyes they've been bred to have their eyes pop out when they're scared.
So what? What?
Well, that's okay. Let's move along from that.
Was the article in Hustler?
There was no article. It was my philosophy.
What?
Oh, you didn't tell me that. You told me you read it somewhere.
Because I was trying to get away from it.
And then we talked about...
There's a whole group of black people that they can just go doink and their eyes pop out. And
what are you talking? Is that are you saying what if there was? Is that your...
No, there is. Yeah, a lot of black people can make it. Is there something wrong with it? And then I just thought,
well, it's a road flare. The phrase "black people," it just makes people do what they should in traffic, which is like they just go.
And do their feet also do their duty when they run? Yeah.
No, come on, no, I'm serious. And I don't like saying African American because they're not
It takes
from Africa.
too much time, too.
Well,
yeah.
it just doesn't. Black, I don't know. I'm white. They say white. Why not black?
I think black people's fine. It's not a magical phrase that makes people think you're a bad person. It's just I was just saying like it puts everybody. Puts millennials. They cover the break. They go like, okay, it's bumper to bumper. I'm gonna go 35 instead of 45. That's what because they've seen shit. Like they were born into it. Like they're not. It's not like I think our generation goes like, what are these people after all this time? What are they so worried about and complaining about? It's like they just got here and all they've seen is fucked up shit.
Yeah.
Like we actually like kind of because we lived through no internet and then into internet. Our perception as Gen Xers, whatever we are, is that everything was fine until everyone started talking about it. That's then like the fiber of our being, and then the new generation is typified by just their they were born and they're like mama, dad, internet, and the internet was like, the cops will shoot you if you're black, and they're like, what's that mean? And they're like, what? And then there's like, fuck you, libtard, and they're like, what the fuck is happening? They get a fire hose of information to the face every day.
Yeah, I mean, you're just saying people shouldn't listen to our podcast, and I think you're right.
No, I think it's good. I'm trying to think more laterally about it and just go, these are the things that make us different. It's like that for that reason. Like we had Karen Kilgariff on last week, and she hosts a true crime show. And we talked about it's like, well, true crime through a certain lens. It's like it's totally insensitive and non-PC because you're like having fun talking about people getting killed and like blah blah blah. But it's like it doesn't. There is no person out there that's like I'm gonna figure out what's right and what's wrong. It's just like when you look at people as a biomass, then they emanate like these weird things. I'm sure everybody would love to tune in and listen to you guys like transgress a million thresholds a minute. Yeah. Because it doesn't mean that they're bad people for listening and stuff.
Well, I was listening to it and I was getting angry. Yeah. But I got angry because we went into a whole tirade about what's going on.
We're scoping now.
I embrace the whole...
Right? Is that what that is?
No.
It's scoping.
No. Periscoping?
No, he's Snapchatting, right?
Although I was big on it for one hot minute on Periscope.
What are you streaming there then?
Facebook Live.
Oh, that's where it's at.
I should have
now?
asked, but
no. We're streaming.
No, it's not happening anywhere. It's happening right here. Right
this is all being videoed.
We're scoping.
No, but for the people. Wherever. Let me tell you something. I was periscoping once, and people make fun of me for doing that.
Sure.
Doink. My eyes.
We also went in about like.
Well, here's what it is what my thought on that eye thing popping out is that the eyes will pop out like they can go watch this, boink, and they can make them pop out, and I think that they were bred maybe that like they were the one. Not that they were.
Don't worry about them. Didn't he just say?
I think that back in this is just a weird thought I had, and that is, when it's too hard.
I love it. The thing. Yeah, when we don't have an audience, we can roll around about it. Roll around the mud
when there was horrible things going on, especially in our country. When
the slavery days.
It's just, which is still hard to even wrap my head around that it was really in our lifetime, and it's really now even still. Racial shit is still
all right, so you're anti-slavery, which should soften the blow of what you're about to say, which is you believe that a forced breeding program to create a comedic effect was...
I just had the thought... you're not going to like it. I don't even know why I brought it up. I just had the thought that how come I can't make my eyes pop out? And no, I don't know any white people that can make their eyes pop out. I think back in the day when they would be chasing down someone, they'd be so afraid their eyes would pop out, and they'd go, "Oh, that," and then they'd be like, "That one's funny. Let's keep that one around."
And that would be bad because
it's
it would be.
So I was listening back to the podcast and I was laughing. I thought we were great.
I read it, by the way. I read it in Vanity Fair.
What? Oh, you read the thing about the iPod? Okay, whatever.
Say that.
So we started talking, and then we went into, because on Community, there was a writer saying how a black writer was talking about how black people were afraid to buy watermelon. Not afraid, but embarrassed to buy watermelon because of the stigma of a black guy with watermelon. So sometimes they would have white people buy it for them. And we're talking about how not fair it is because watermelon's delicious. I know you don't like it, but it's great. Everyone loves it. And then we talked about fried chicken and our favorite fried chicken place, and we talked about Popeyes. But then we said,
like that woman love that chicken and Popeyes, and her eyes pop out.
But then we talked about Popeyes, and we didn't mention that the name is Popeyes.
Decline all calls.
The name of the place is called Popeyes.
Oh my God, I didn't.
Yeah. Is that why?
Is that why? Is that why?
Look, I'm caught in the cult of Andy right now.
It's just a thought I had. And why didn't we put two and two together?
I know. We didn't mention it. So
Popeye.
so I gave you that gift on your podcast.
Thank you.
Yes, there. We almost can go home now.
I know.
Feels so good.
Well, I want to talk about.
See,
I want to talk about an aspect of Andy that he's not famous for. If anything, you're famous for you people would assume, well, you probably thick-skinned because you're such an agent of chaos.
I can take it, except you wouldn't know that last night when I went to get a cup of coffee last night at midnight. Who does that? But I did, and there were these two ladies in front of me. I have to tell you this real quick. And these two ladies were in front of me, and right when I walked in, the guy was like, "Oh, no, not you. Oh, we know you. No. And I'm like...
You go crazy on coffee. Caffeine drives you mad.
And I just said, oh, yeah, well, yeah, it's me. But, help the ladies. And I just want a cup of coffee. And then they talked and were talking. They were done. They were done ordering, done getting their stuff. And they just kept talking about some bar they were going to. And I was just patiently waiting. I just really just want a cup of coffee. But I didn't say that. I was just standing there. And then they left. And then I said, yeah, I just want a cup of coffee with cream. And then he was talking and ignoring me kind of, put the coffee mug over here, and he didn't start up the coffee. There's a thing. It's this one on Cahuenga where it's a drip thing, and you press a button, and then I was waiting.
I think that's every street coffee works like that. And
it felt like 5 minutes, and I said, does it just happen, the coffee? The mug isn't even... He went, oh yeah, you wanted coffee.
At the coffee place.
And so he took the mug and put it under the thing and then started pressing buttons. And I started saying, so were you just not going to make it? Or... And then this guy came in immediately after. And then the guy said, are you guys closed or something? And he said, yes, and we're just doing illicit deals right now. And I went, no. I'm just getting a cup of coffee. I'm pretty sure they're open. Just getting a cup of coffee. And it was just, I was getting like, this is what happened. This has never happened before. Because usually I just take it. Look, you said thick-skinned, and it's true. And I just take it, and I take it, and I take it, and I take it. And I snapped last night. You guys would have been so proud of me. I don't
know if you know what pride is.
No one was there. He left, and then he started remaking my coffee and doing my coffee. And I said something. He said one more comment. You're that guy, or this and that. And I said something to the effect of, well, sometimes I'm just a guy that just wants a cup of coffee. But thanks. I get it because it's the life I created, and you're in good company because everybody makes fun of me. Letterman, Conan, Harmon. You're in good company. So I get it, and once again, I deserve it. I deserve it because I'm an idiot, and I am an idiot. I'm an idiot. Actually, you know what? Can I tell you something? Alcoholism and drug addiction, it's kind of a serious thing. And to be, you know what it is like, in a way? I mean, just to point it out, it'd be like if I came in with crutches, and I was like a cripple, and you said, hey, sorry, we don't have a ramp for you, Gimpo the Clown. It's kind of like that, but I'm okay. I'm just saying, watch yourself for other people that might not be okay with it, but I'm perfectly fine with it. But just be careful, because some people might snap. He's like, no, I didn't mean it like that at all. And I went, whoa. No, you said right when I walked in, you went, whoa, we know you, not you. What does that mean? No, I don't even know that part about you. Like, what, that I'm a big drug addict, alcoholic? He's like, that's what I said. He said, yeah, no, I just know, you're a celebrity. And I smell bullshit. And I'm like, well, okay, then what's your favorite thing I've heard? He said, well, I don't know. He said, I don't know. I don't really know what you do. I'm like, that's my point. You know me from being a fucking moron. I admit it. I admit it. And then that's what you were doing. You were kind of going with the fucking flow and making fun of me in front of those people. And then the next guy comes in. Oh, no, we're just doing an illicit deal. You're talking about drugs, right? And so you're lying, and fuck you.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I am so proud of you.
I am proud of you. I'm very proud of you.
I normally am not like that. I feel responsible. No, but I do feel proud because I never stick up for myself like that. And I said, fuck you. But by the end, we had made up, and his dad's an alcoholic. and I understood where it was coming from, and then I was crying, and I'm like, now I'm an asshole.
So this continued, and he started apologizing and broke down because his dad's an alcoholic.
Wow. And we both it was a cathartic thing, and I said, you know what, can I be honest with you? You helped me so much right now that you were just like this opening for me to, I guess I carry that with me everywhere I fucking go, and I don't have thick skin, I guess. And when people make fun of me, I'm just getting smaller and smaller and sadder, and I want to die.
That's what I was going to talk about, because through one lens, you're like this Pokemon that like you have some quirky name, and like it's like you curl up into a ball, and like your exploits are like, well, it's not like you're a rude. The self-destruction is always higher than the rudeness, which I think kind of equates to like. I think it's like thick skin, and like he's fine. It's like he's an equal opportunity offender, and he puts himself at the top of the list because he ends up being like thrown out of every bar and blah blah blah. This is when you're
he's
off the
like
wagon.
Meowth.
Like Meowth? Oh, it's like Meowth, yeah. That's a Pokemon.
Is that one a Pokemon?
Yeah.
You guys know how to talk to your crowd.
Oh, yeah.
But on the other hand...
They're me, man.
On the other hand, I've never met anybody... I think I'm not exaggerating when I say this. I'm trying to think, like, it's hard to think up here, but, like, I think I've never met anybody with your particularly sensitive whisker about, like... It's like I'm trying. It's like you can go like from such a high, like, and I'm talking about on the wagon and just you. Like I'm saying you can go from such a high mood, like, and you're funny and you're fun and you're having a good time and stuff, and then like it seems like a bit at first, but you can take this roller coaster plunge, and it really is tied to like it's the most absurdly microscopic mention of someone liking someone else, like any kind of girl. It's like we could be hanging out on a porch and like, oh, the weather's so beautiful, and you could be like cracking me up with your stories, or like just being funny and cool, and then like we're both thinking of the same thing on the set of Great Minds, but also I hear stories from Dino, and I think it's happened before with you and me, where it's like you go, oh, that cloud is shaped like Paul Rudd. I love Paul Rudd. And then I was like I'm going to get another lemonade. Do you want another lemonade? I don't know. Why don't you get Paul Rudd another lemonade? Yeah. And it always seems like a bit, and then I go like, ha, and then it bring back the lemonade, and it was just like, this is good. You're so nice. Thank you. I'm like, thank you. I really like hanging out with you. And I was like, what is it with Paul Rudd? What is it? It's like Jesus, Andy. Like that
Paul Rudd thing never happened. But it did happen with Nick Kroll.
Yeah. Well, I mentioned Nick Kroll like on the set of Great Minds. And it was like, and
he has a show. You guys probably know that Great Minds show, and Nick had, I guess, just done it and did a great job.
But I was bringing it up.
Shut up about it. How great he was.
Shut up about it.
But he was trying to compliment you when he brought it up.
No, he was just talking about how great Nick did.
See?
No,
Nothing about how I just had done it that day. I was leaving. He didn't say, and you did real good today. He didn't even have that part in there.
No, we were
all about Nick. What about me?
But
listen.
I wouldn't have. I brought it up because it was I was connecting the dot. I was like, I haven't had this much fun since Nick Kroll was on, or something like that. It was like I was putting you.
I
in
didn't hear that part.
Yeah.
I really didn't. I'm so sorry.
I was like, why would anyone?
You heard haven't had fun, Nick Kroll.
And like, think about the kind of like weird monster I must be if it like through your eyes. If you think it's possible that you'd be shitting the bed, and in order to cope with it, I'd be like, I love Nick Kroll.
He never shits the bed. Yeah.
Oh, it was worse than that. In my mind, I honestly thought you were trying to take me out of the.
Never trust your mind.
Okay, so
it's insane.
It has historically steered you wrong.
I think I had to call you and say, I think he's fucking with me.
Yeah, and I'm like, I doubt it.
He's too lazy.
I'm thinking about it now.
Yeah, he doesn't really like confrontation at all.
Like, fucking with someone.
Seriously, I really was. I did. I'm not lying. I thought he was fucking with me, and I thought he was being mean. You're right. I did. That is so embarrassing.
But let's talk about that, because I'm sure there's a lot of people listening.
Well, it probably happens
like,
every
I can
fucking
relate
day.
to that.
You know, the coffee guy, maybe he was serious. He doesn't know me at all.
I think people who are ultra sensitive portray themselves as not sensitive at all, and that's what you go out and you do.
Well, I think it's almost like cutting
true.
or something. It's like you develop like this because you know how fucking risky the world is. Yes, that's what I want to talk about, because I can relate, and I think a lot of people can relate, that it's like you go, oh my God, this world could fucking undo me, like nothing, and so but that took a certain face on the playground or something, and it's like we develop these really specific numbnesses, like people that gravitate towards microphones and cameras and things. It's like it's like this weird inversion where you callous yourself over in all of the places that normal people would be sensitive, because you just develop that cow catcher on the front of your train. You're just like, okay, that's the spot where there's going to be impact. Like, and then ironically, you put so much energy into that. You have these, like, it's like if Batman just had naked flesh on like here, but had like a bulletproof like titanium thing, and then it was just like naked. You could see his ribs and his acne here, and it's just like everybody was just like, get him like that, and every time he did, he was like, oh god damn it, I should quit being Batman.
I'm fascinated by these cow catchers on trains. They really have those?
Yes,
they catch
big swooping metal things
to catch cows.
No, to get them along. Like,
it cuts down a herd.
Run into them. The cow probably dies.
Oh, it dies.
It saves the train.
Oh, that's nice.
Do you think? Do you think that
trains are an endangered species?
Do you think that you project things that aren't there, or do you think you're like? Is it about, like, I characterize it as a cat whisker? Is it
me?
Like, yeah,
no. My thing happened. I've been thinking about this recently. It happened. It went all the way back. It's happening again, but this time I think I know what to do and how to handle it. First of all, I'm 50, and I've been through it a bunch. But what happened is we did the Ben Stiller show, and then all of this.
I can't believe you're 50. You seem like 6 to me.
A lot of 50-year-olds do, though. That's the new thing.
Then I just catapulted out of there onto news radio, and I played this. I remember the audition for news radio. Paul Sims had me come in and read for the network and everybody and the writers, and I did it, and I guess I fell flat. But before the audition, in the room, I was talking like this, and I'm like, this is going to be fun, right? This is going to be fun. Phil Harmon and Dave Foley, and this is going to be wild. And so anyways, then I do my audition, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, what are we? Whatever you guys need from me, I'm in. I'm ready. I'm like that. And then Paul Sims told me that I left, and everybody was disappointed with my audition. And Paul said, "Can I tell you something? Did you see how he was before the audition, before he started reading the part, and after? That's how he's going to be. So we're going to write for him." And then that's what they did, and I became this kind of like warm and fuzzy character that people on the street always wanted to just touch and hug and all that, but I wasn't always that person. And so I built up this thing. Yeah, I really did. I went full force into drugs and alcohol, and I started like a punk band, and and I made another persona that one I can't shake now.
All right. I always felt like and when I say things like I always felt, I'm not qualified. One of the things that I love about you is that you don't punish people like me for just speculating and I get, back in the 90s, I would get mad at people for talking about you, like the way that they did, because I would be like, because I have my own issues, and I and I'm like the whole like, oh, you have a problem with substances or whatever. Like, I just don't like the way normie norms handle it. Like, I don't like indulging that stuff. And it's like, in spite of the fact that I think now I'm 43, you're 50, and it's like I've had enough drinks with you and been through. I've seen enough to think. I think it's a great idea for you to be sober. Like, I really do. And like, why
am I here? I was like planning my next relapse.
It's
been almost 2 years, by the way.
Which is fucking amazing.
No, it's not enough. Not enough.
You know,
don't applaud 2 years. God damn it. It's not an accomplishment, people.
It is though, because you were on and off like a goddamn yo-yo, and like
I hate it. And
2 years is huge.
I'm going to drink again. I'm not going to lie.
No, shut up.
No.
Why can't I?
Why?
Oh no.
It's a nightmare.
It's
just a nightmare.
I can't ever again. I can't even comprehend that.
Did you have a timer set on your phone that's now in that guy's hands?
I have an app that tells me how much sober time I have. Yeah.
Are we still good? We're not cutting into that, right? Because I know you have somewhere to be after this, right?
Oh, that. You're right. I do. I have another show.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry.
He also has an app about when he's going to stop drinking. So,
but this is
delete that.
Can I be honest with you? This is far more important.
No, okay. I just want you to be doing what you want to do with all the information you can have.
Nice. So here's the question I want to ask you.
Keep going though.
I've seen your relationship with our medicine. I've seen your relationship with our.
Wait, did you talking about drugs and alcohol is our medicine? It really is. Do you know, if I didn't have drugs and alcohol over all these last 20, 30 years, I started drinking when I was 14, so it's been like 30 or more years, I would have killed myself. I'm sorry, I really would have killed myself. And I would have been prescribed something, and maybe that would have worked, maybe. I don't know, I never did any of those. But drugs and alcohol worked for me, and I love them.
But the other thing that works for you, the other thing that works for you is attention. Like is that a fair thing? Like
this does take the place of that. You're right.
When we were hanging out, we were doing that Comedy Central thing, and it was like he
was creating a show for me. He was creating the new Andy Dick show for me. And then, I don't know, things got a little hairy. I don't know what happened. I remember just having a bunch of fun, doing a lot of coke. Robin Williams was hanging out with us. We were having fun. Then he's like, I'm out. And then I see Communities created by Dan Harmon.
I don't think it happened like that.
Yeah. No, it did. All of a sudden.
Listen one more time.
He just left to do his funny little show that you guys all love, and then left me high and dry.
This is just Andy.
Drugs by myself.
In the middle of a drink, and then all of a sudden he's gone. No, there was a lot of shit that happened in the middle of that drink.
Well, I don't remember that stuff. But I'm proud of that. I'm not mad about it, because I would have left me. I wouldn't have even started.
I didn't leave you. Comedy Central looked at the outline that we turned in, and they said no, I know this is going to be kind of a stereotype because we bought that show and now we don't want it. Har har har. And I was like, hardy har. What? It was like. It was Comedy Central.
So you didn't leave?
No, I didn't leave. Anyway, but I want to make sure because I want to know
so I should watch Community.
You draw in your head.
Just watch your episode.
I'm in it. I thought he was fucking with me with that. Because he's like, listen, I wrote you in Community. I'm like, great. And you're
Is it a big part? No.
No. Is it a big part? Not really. But you do a scene with Chevy Chase. I'm like, fuck yeah. I love the guy. I really, and I know all your thing with him, but I'm like, I fucking love him. Because he's the original guy. He's like one of the he's just great. I really I know you. But
I got
he was, and this one you must have been fucking with me, because I get to the set, right? And I'm like, so my scene I see is with Chevy Chase. Maybe we should meet up and we can talk about the scene. Oh, he's not here. What, yet? He's not going to be here. You're going to be doing it on a green screen. Did you look at the script? We're putting you in a green screen, and we're going to shrink you down. You're going to be sitting on Chevy Chase's shoulder. So talk about a bit part. I was this fucking big. And there wasn't even a cardboard cutout of Chevy Chase to act with. I was by myself. You didn't even show up. I was doing a monologue
because
to a camera.
I had cast Andy Dick as Chevy Chase's drug addiction. I didn't need to be there. It shoots itself. It's fine.
He is the coffee guy from last night. That's my point. And what am I supposed to say? Fuck this, I'm out. No,
but
I have
unlike
to be
that
there
coffee
and
guy,
act.
I wasn't pretending not to know you, having exploited
That's
you.
the part that got me when he pretended that he wasn't doing what he was doing.
That made me really mad when
he
he
would
was
have.
like,
I'm
sorry, I just don't know who you are.
I said, own up to it, man. Oh, I said it. I was
proud. Yeah.
But I just
would have loved it.
So can we draw? I want to try to draw a connection between the medicine that is attention, and you're one of those people that really lights up, like when people are focused on you, and like I said earlier, it's like to the point where you could experiment, like with that vocoder, like we can turn the dial of mentioning Paul Rudd, and you can.
And I think that's what happened.
That's
I think that's what I was getting at. Is that I think that the world saw that how easy I am. So, I'm like a little bit of a whore, and then they're like, now let's poke with him and let's do that, and then it fucking drove me insane. And I've been to 20 different rehabs. I've lived like 3 years in a facility. I live in one right now. I'm in a facility. When I leave here, I go back to a sober living.
But it's nice, right?
I love it. It's on the beach. I mean, you don't have to feel sorry for me. And I'm the only one in this one house. I mean, I got it made.
You can do all the drugs you want.
That's the one thing. That's the one catch.
That's how they get you.
I do think about that. If I took one fucking sip, it's gone. My house is gone. You would look at me different. You said it on stage with Tina
I wouldn't look
Fey.
at you at all. You'd see the back of my head. I'd be running
Tina Fey
away.
was right next to us, and I said that I want to, still want to drink. I want to drink right now. Tina Fey had a fucking glass of wine tucked into her cunt right there. Everybody's drinking scotch, and Steve Colbert drinking, and everyone. I'm like, I want to drink. And you said, if you drink, I'm leaving right now. And he means it. So I don't want him to leave.
Don't groan out there. Have you seen him drunk? It's a nightmare.
So
it's bad.
So the medicine of attention,
right?
Like, is it? I just want to talk about the relationship, like because there's a couple different models here that we could use. Like, is it? I'm curious. Like, in your mind, is it like? Would it be easy to stay sober for 20 years if during every minute of that 20 years everybody was like, Andy, are you okay? Are you all right? You're very funny. You're beautiful. You're wonderful.
Yeah.
Like is it?
I've been thinking about this.
Is it when that needle goes off and then it's like I could supplement that with like the other thing that makes me that takes my brain, because we're talking about numbness. So we're talking about you have such a high degree of empathy then maybe that you can feel people. Like you knew that guy was fucking around. Like you're hypersensitive to that. Mm-hmm. That makes you a good entertainer. Your curse to bear then is that like that seismograph is designed to measure fucking kittens walking across the kitchen floor. So the Northridge quake is a little tough sometimes if somebody is like, hey Andy, and you're like, I want to kill myself.
If something really super bad happened, it would be just curtains.
I mean, you're talking to the two guys who love drinking more than anything, who hate it when people don't drink, right? We hate it when people don't drink.
Me
and you.
No, and we love it when he doesn't. Yes,
right.
Yes,
that just doesn't seem fair.
But there's got to be other things you can do that I can't. Like,
did you see Holy Hell?
Yes, I did. I just saw it. I just saw it.
God, I have this weird thing that all celebrities, and me included, create a mini fucking a cult.
What
you have it. This is your little mini cult.
No.
Yes. Yes, and it's not a bad thing. I kept looking at that guy going, he's not that bad.
I want a cult.
You have one. You have one.
I do.
But what do you think? Do you see that situation as untenable, and like, is there an adjustment that you could make? Because I can we talk for a second just about therapy? Are you in therapy?
I'm in it all the time. I live at that place.
Our podcast is therapy.
It really is. I approached Dino and begged him. I just asked him if he could please just hang out. because I wanted to get to the bottom of why he left me in the first place years ago. He just stopped talking to me. I couldn't get him on the phone. I'm like, what? That hurt me to my marrow. And we've never, like, sucked each other's cocks or anything.
No, I'm the only person he's never been attracted to. What are you going to do?
Look at him.
But yeah, I mean, there's like no wrong answers on that podcast. It's like, yeah, black people's eyes pop out. Love it.
Yeah. Don't listen to the podcast.
Don't listen to our
he
podcast.
He drops the N-bomb, like, for no reason.
I do it here.
It's just no point.
I stopped doing it here when people started applauding. Then it got creepy.
Yeah. But I think it's true about the millennials. You know, they're new to the party, and we have to respect them.
But I think that it's like, yeah, but can you sense, and I think you can, or maybe it's even more interesting if you can't, because look what happened. You came out and you were like a bull in a china shop but instead of china, it was like hot buttons are for sale in this shop. No, it's not a shop. You're not supposed to be in there. You're a bull in a fucking racist tirade. Every button you could push. And even though you're like you're being told like, oh, they don't like that and blah blah blah, like you then all of a sudden 5 seconds later, like we've switched gears into a one night show with Andy Dick where you're telling stories and people are leaned in and they're sharing with you because you're talking about your pain. You're talking about what it means to be Andy Dick in a Starbucks. You adapted because you're like a freaky stem cell like Mystique character that's like oh, anything to, because you love making people happy. Yes. But it has to be you, that's
well, that's all I have.
Well, I mean, yeah, you can't. It's just like, but you can't like
the only way.
You're so.
But it's not about that. You're happy. You're not happy that people are happy. You're happy that you make people happy. Like if someone next to you makes someone happy, you're going to be like, why am I even here on Earth?
That's exactly what happens. That's what it is. And by the way,
it does happen, but I'm better at that. I know what
you weren't better in New York.
That's what he's referencing. In New York City, we did this Our Skull Juice podcast, and that's what I was getting at. That I approached Dino, and I'm like, "Can you be my friend? I miss you, and I just want to be." He's like, "Let's start a podcast." And I'm like, "I don't really." Fine. If it means you're going to be my friend, let's do it. And then I thought, no one's going to listen to this, and we'll just talk, and I'm going to get to the bottom of why he left me. And I have a lot of insights after we talk, a lot. And I go away hating you, but then I want to do another one. Yeah. I call him the next day. Can we do another one today? He's like,
he loves hating me.
And and by the way, he hates doing the podcast. At 1 hour, he's like, "We're done." I'm like, "No, we're just gonna." But in New York, it was and rightfully so, and fair enough, it was all about Dino, and that's fine. I wasn't fine with it in New York. I wasn't fine with it. It was Dino created this thing, and it was Tina Fey and Stephen Colbert and all those people. I don't know if you heard about it. And we were live on stage like this, and what's his name? Louis C.K. showed up, and Scott Adset. And am I missing anybody? And it was
Smigel
and Smigel, Triumph, the insult comic dog. And oh look, that's him.
Oh, there he is! It's a skeleton!
His eyes bugged out. And Dino created this night. I started having this great appreciation for you, and like Stephen Colbert texted him and said, "Hey, I listened to your first Skull Juice podcast." I'm like, "He did?" He's like, "Yeah." So Steven texted him and said, "Yeah, you were going to read the script that you got that he had written with Steven, and then you never got to it because it was all about me. We never got to the script."
He's like, "I listened to the whole fucking podcast."
He was. Oh, he hated it.
No, I don't think he hated it.
Oh.
I was trying to get a laugh.
Oh. But see, I almost went into that spiral I know. Talking about. But anyhow.
Everyone was scared.
But then Dino just said offhandedly, "Why don't we just do it live on stage?" And then within a week, everybody's live fucking on stage because Dino said, "Let's do it." And
that's
all
Dino's
on
thing.
stage.
Well, you guys are like almost, you're the opposite on one axis, which is that Dino doesn't give a fuck.
Doesn't care.
And then everyone feels safe, I guess. Yeah. I guess it's that old thing. We all know it.
Secretly, he does care about.
Like
that's
when
what I'm getting at.
No, he does.
I don't know if it's that secret.
Okay.
But he doesn't. Yeah. Well, anyways, I don't know. It's
okay.
true.
I don't obsess, but
Listen, we've got Paul Rudd here tonight, so and we need one of the chairs. But you have a heart out, right? If you want, you can.
Is Paul Rudd here for real?
Yeah. No, Paul Rudd's here.
He really is.
Yep.
Oh, then I'll leave. Why am I?
But you have to. You have to.
Why
go,
was I here at all?
Don't you have to go?
Stephen
Is Nick
Colbert's
Kroll here too?
Yeah.
Paul Rudd really is here?
Yeah.
No, he's not. No, Paul Rudd's not here. Jesus Christ.
You got me.
All right.
Now I'm mad.
I do have to go anyways. I have a show in Burbank at 9
Let's thank Andy Dick for bearing his soul, and he'll come back.
Thank you. Andy Dick, everybody.
He ain't leaving.
Working out the kinks.
Is his handler here?
Yeah.
Do we have the net?
It'll be okay.
All right.
Well, that was a weird event.
Yeah, it was.
But now it's time for some Stranger Things.
I should go too, right, and clear the stage.
No, you stay here.
All right.
Let's bring up Matt and Ross Duffer, the Duffer Brothers.
Yeah.
Come back when you don't double book. Hi guys.
Hey.
Sorry, are you? I braced you for being having to wait and stuff, and you're fine with it.
Yeah, thanks for putting us after.
Yeah.
Andy Dick.
Yeah. All right.
We're just coasting, gliding on the momentum, baby.
All right. So everybody wants to know, how do you tell them apart? I'll tell you. I figured it out.
They're kind of like the Duplass brothers.
Yeah, except that
you can't tell them apart either.
Twins, though.
I don't. Well, the Duplasses, I'd have to Google them and then look and go, okay, yeah, I can't tell it from the but then the guys, the animals guys who aren't even brothers, much less twins, I will never be able to tell them apart. But these guys are easy. Matt has a shock of white hair in front, which is a welcome mat for your remembering his name. Ross is raw. He's not cooked yet, so he doesn't have a gray hair thing.
How do you remember the word mnemonic?
I think of the word phenomenon.
I think of pneumonia because I need to have mnemonics because I'm such a cold person I can't tell people apart. I do. That's how I remember the word mnemonic.
All right, you guys are into your... well, there's nothing I could... Yeah. You guys are... he's not going to start drinking again, is he?
Yeah, thanks to everyone here.
But what did we do? We didn't do anything.
They groaned every time I said I didn't want him to drink.
Now I hate it. No, I hate it when he says like I'm gonna like it's like. It's
I really thought he was gonna drink in New York.
You guys like TV.
I'm amazed that he didn't
like
New
working
York.
in
I'm
it.
sorry. And by the way, I'm talking now like the people I hated in the 2000s. I was like, fuck you guys. You don't care. But it's like now it's like we're old. We're so old that it's like now I'm like actually sincerely like, come on, man, don't drink.
Oh, I care. I work with them. Yeah. Hi guys.
So you guys are now writing season 2 of Stranger Things.
Correct.
So first let's talk about what everyone keeps calling the title sequence, but it's not a sequence of anything. It's neon letters in an amazing font with a cool John Carpenter type song. Who's this composer?
Oh, who did the music for it?
Yeah.
These guys named Kyle and Michael. They're part of this band called Survive out of Austin. And we made this little... when we tried to sell the show, we made this little trailer of... We put all these, clips from old movies together with a Spielberg or Carpenter or whatever, try to get the vibe across. And some of it was John Carpenter music that we used, but then for the the epic end of this trailer, we couldn't find anything, and we used music from this band. And so when it came to the show, we just we called them up. I mean, they had one of them sold used synthesizers.
Mm-hmm. You don't make money, in an instrumental like synth band. Like it's like you can't make.
You don't
have a living.
Yeah,
so I called them up and
music.
I was like, "Do you guys, at first we had to convince, Netflix and the producers, and then which crazy, they let us, do it, and then we called them and we're like, would you quit your jobs to do this? And they're like, fuck yeah. Because, are you kidding me?
Now they'll be fine, because your show's big enough that they can just go on tour.
They're like
now.
touring.
Yeah, they're touring
with a synth. It's crazy.
Yeah, and people will be like, "Yeah, it's great." I always wonder about like when you see like a Toyota commercial and you hear like a song you really like, and then you look it up and you're like, oh, and then you buy the album and it's like the only I'm not saying these guys are that at all. I have no idea, but I always wonder about the phenomenon of like being a band who's like who all of a sudden either I will look at the 88 like I wonder sometimes like they were big enough they were doing like they were using their music was like in shampoo commercials and all this stuff, and then Joe Russo said like we should use them for the theme song of Community. Then they do the thing. It was like I always wonder what their relationship is, if they hate it or love it or like
they love it. I'm sure they love it. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, they're barely scraping by right now, but like I'm sure they're going to be great. They're going to do really well.
And are you guys from Austin?
No.
North Carolina.
All right.
Durham, North Carolina. Yeah.
Asheville? You just said Durham.
Durham. Yeah.
I have a neurological disorder. You may have heard of it in Wired magazine. It's pretty chic. Diagnosed myself on the internet. So here's something I find interesting about you guys. You are twins, and then we met at lunch. The waitress came over and said, "Are you guys twins?" And you're like, "Yeah." And she said, "Identical." And I've never heard this response before. You guys said, "We don't know. We might be. We assume we are." You could clear that up with a blood test, but you've gotten to the point where you don't want to know.
We don't know what it would psychologically do to us.
Yeah, no. I mean, I think if it came back and we were identical, we'd feel fine and we'd be the same. But like, if it came back that we weren't,
I don't think you are. You're not even wearing the same shirt.
I don't want to hear that.
He bases all of his knowledge about twins on like chimpanzee shows from the 60s.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I think it could fuck us up.
But that's not even what shocks me. What shocks me is that it's possible in this modern era. You guys were born into a stainless steel honeycomb. You were born into THX 1138. You were born in an underground tube.
Andy's still here.
Oh shit!
I didn't. I love that show so much. I could go on and on and on.
You know what show he doesn't love? His own show that he's.
No, you know what? There's a Volkswagen blocking my car. That's why I came back. I'm not kidding. I didn't know that this was people from Stranger Things, though. This is fucking. Why can't I stay? Fucking serious. This is fucking amazing. That show, I got to talk to you guys about why and how it's so amazing.
All right, well, go ahead.
No, this is your show. I got to go, but can somebody move there? It's like a black...
No, we want you to talk to them now.
I have a show. There's a whole audience.
Fuck your show.
You're mean.
Come on. Ask him a few questions. I'll go get the Volkswagen out of the way. Whose car is that?
Well, there's so many good things. The acting and the writing and the way it's so you really, you know what, I relate to Winona Ryder. I will relate to that character because the way that, I don't know if you guys directed her in this way or whatever, but she is that person where everything about her, and she even says, I know I seem crazy, I know, but I'm not. I saw things in the wall and the lights are... And the more she screams, the more crazy she sounds, and I love that.
Yeah, you talk to lamps and shit.
I love it.
You connected to that.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, we cast Winona. Like I think we had one script written, and we cast her, and it was like a very different role. It was like a tough, like smoking Long Island mom, and then we had Winona, and I said, what, and then I loved the idea of Winona, and then we started to talk about like Richard Dreyfuss and Close Encounters. We started talking about like what's cool about Winona, what we love about Winona. And that's that's what I love about television, that it can evolve. Like once all the kids were cast, we had one script written and we rewrote that script based on all these kids.
Yeah.
And we just wrote to all of them. We wrote to Winona, and they make the show. I think they made the show so much better and more interesting. Everything was much more stereotypical.
All of them are great, and the other guy I relate, and the kids are amazing. Everybody's so good. You did such a great job with casting and writing and the way you shoot it and everything. That other guy that I just fucking love him is the lead man, the police officer. What a fucking train wreck. Immediately he's popping pills, smoking. He doesn't give a shit. He's drinking. He hates his job, but he's a fucking hero. The first time. Remember that first time when he just fucking knocked the guy out? That was back in the 70s when you can do that. He just fucking knocked him out. He was like, I'm going to do it. And I'm like, fuck you. That's a real hero.
I can't have him listen to this podcast. No, but the funny thing,
why? He didn't like doing that?
He gets so pumped up about it.
He
loves punching people.
He will love everything that you're saying will fucking...
He's a real Andy Dick. By the way,
the way he plays it.
No one's moving that Volkswagen, so I'm going to go out and key it in a second.
Yeah, we gotta move it. I gotta. He really will.
I mean, you do.
Thanks, Andy. Thank you.
But back to my medical question. She's like, how do you not? Because you're babies that were born at the same time. How do they not have your DNA like in a hologram? They're just going like they either are or aren't identical twins. That's the thing I don't understand. It's like you guys slipped through the slats of an Orwellian.
I don't know. No, this is what happens when you're born in the South. I don't know.
Well, speaking of which, you guys were born. So you guys are like you're in the 30. I won't betray you're 30ish. That's the new young. You're being nostalgic in this show for a time that didn't actually like. For me, that's what
I keyed it.
There's no guarantee that the person's in this room. Like they had no right to do that.
Well, he should have went out and fucking moved it.
No, because he might be a block away. He doesn't know that you want his car moved.
Oh.
That's when I was like 10 years old, and it's like filled with like all these memories for me. But you guys are like, you're fondly recalling a time in cinema. Really, like it's like your favorite movies when you were kids, right?
Yeah, it's weird. I think it's just it's weird because it's part of it is our childhood. We did. We're hanging out with our friends and doing nerdy stuff and going on adventures. And then so that was a huge part of our childhood. And the other part was watching these VHS tapes over and over again. And so it all becomes like a blur when I look back on it. It's just a blur. Those were my favorite movies. And
were they better then? I mean, because like, so that kind of, I always felt like this thing is like, I felt like there was, the movies were better. Like there was.
They're always better. Yeah.
But you guys are younger enough than me that if that weren't true, because you guys would just be fondly recalling like Clueless or something, that you'd be like, that's our E.T. and I'd be like, well, okay, and feeling like a curmudgeon, like I guess we just all melt and die and think that when we were 10 there was a golden age of cinema. But you guys are kind of like
that's true,
confirming that in the 80s there was like a joy there. I think that John Carpenter really represents, because here's a guy who like did his own music for his own horror movies and and that synth feel and they live.
We didn't think about them as like old movies though. I mean, they felt very modern to. I didn't watch The Goonies and I wasn't like, oh, this is like an old movie. It felt very current to me. Mm-hmm. So I didn't differentiate. The only thing that it didn't experience it theatrically. That was the only thing. But it felt very new to me. So I didn't.
Did you ever become conscious
responded to
before you got to this point? Was there a point where you guys were like, "Oh, I think we're '80s files"? No,
Good. Not at all.
Short answer.
No, not at all. It makes me nervous actually being associated. I feel like a lot of people know a lot more about it than we do. Winona knows a lot more than we do.
She's like, it wasn't like this. Just keep talking.
No, it's just she
you're on camera.
Yeah, she knows so much. She's into weird, like every movie. Like she mentioned these movies. I feel like I know a lot of movies, and I don't know what the hell she's talking. Like I don't even know what movie she's talking about. And I go on IMDb or whatever, it has like 700 votes. Like it's like no one has seen it except Winona.
Is that her thing? Is she like a cinephile?
She watches so much. She watches so
everything.
much, and most of it's like 80s to 90s. Like it's like weird, but yeah. Just like I don't know if you even know like Audrey Rose. It's like she's obsessed with this Anthony Hopkins thing.
Yeah.
It's like a bad, it's like an Exorcist ripoff that they did in the A2. But she's like, you got to see Audrey Rose. I'm like, yeah. I want to watch Audrey Rose. Like, and it was like that for 3 months, and I finally watched it. I was like, I don't know. But then it was like
if she says you got to watch Martin Scorsese's Dracula, just say no. Fucking
yeah. That's a good soundtrack though.
What's Matthew Modine like?
Oh, he gave the weirdest interview yesterday. It was like in Forbes, and he was talking about how upset he was that people were calling him evil because of the character he played in the show. Because when we were shooting the show, I just let him. Oh well, yeah. He thought he was being sympathetic, like he thought he was, but everything he was doing that he thought was sympathetic was really creepy, and so we just let it go, right? like it's like with 11, like when he touches her nose,
right?
And I was just Ross and I just looked and we're like, ooh, and we're like, yeah, let's go, let's do it.
It wasn't a direction. It
wasn't a direction. No, or like no. He just said no. He goes, I'm going to touch her nose like this, like poink, and we're like, haha. And then we do the first take, and he does it, and we're like, oh shit, he was. That was actually. I
thought he was doing
was saying he wasn't joking around
because he has like so, and I know he was concerned. He's like Brenner has like 10 lines in the whole thing. It's not very. He doesn't have a lot, and so it's him finding these. He's making these weird choices anytime he's on screen because he knows he only has a certain like.
I was like, what is that accent you're doing? Like, what is that? He's like, I don't know what accent.
Yeah, it'll give her the flowers.
I'm not doing an accent. I'm like, there's something. Like I can't figure it out. What is it? He's like, I don't know. There's nothing. But like it fucking worked. It cut through.
That's everything I wanted to hear about Matthew Modine. Because I'm thinking like if I quantum leaped into Matthew Modine and I look in the mirror and I'm like, I see Matthew Modine and I go, oh boy, and that's the episode of Quantum Leap. I would spend that episode. I'd be like, how the fuck do you break out of being Matthew Modine, man? It's kind of like an invitation to just take it as it lays, man. I want to think that he's like some kind of weird.
But he's really interesting, and he is. I mean, and then his Full Metal Jacket stories because he was there for, and a lot of people.
You make a Kubrick movie, you're like there 10 years.
Yeah, and a lot of people associate that like that. That was right when he was like the most desired in Hollywood, and he's gone for 2 years. You sign a Kubrick movie, you're gone forever. You sign your life away. Like there's no end date.
And then at the end of it, Kubrick says, "Now put film in the camera." Did you ever hear that story? The Shining. He shoots you. Is it like Shelley Duvall or Shelley Duvall? Shelley Duvall. Yeah, Shelley.
Yeah. By the way, I meant Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula.
But
right. I like it when the train's riding over the top of the book. But yeah, he drove her. He made her do 1,000 takes until she was going out of her mind.
He fucks with him. He gets what he needs out of them. He does it.
All right. So anyway, well, I cut you off. Like now, I had something to say. No, I don't. Yeah. Jesus, you should have kept talking. The thing I'm talking about. What do you guys think of garage doors? Okay, so wait, did his character, I can't even remember, did he because I remember him being not as scared as he should be that his neck would get telekinetically snapped. Like I remember him walking down the hall and she's like snap snap and they're like their necks are like snap snap and then he's like, hey, take it easy.
I didn't know she was going to do that. I mean, like we weren't.
Wait, now telekinesis isn't real. You can't pretend. You're like doing like the thing they did on behind the scenes on Gremlins 2 and they're like, oh, Mogwai wants his coffee. Well, come on, don't insult us. Don't try to conjure that part of the 80s. We're savvy people. It's Los Angeles. She wasn't supposed to have mental powers. It's clearly a show about a monster from the Upside Down. Like that's enough. Like it was, adding her was weird. She showed up. She was bald. She snapped people's necks, and we put her in the movie. You guys are kind of famously. I mean, so what was it's an overnight thing. Like I don't know if that offends you to say that because you probably there's maybe a trail of like very hard work. I'm sure you didn't come out of a dumpster and walk into Netflix, but
correct.
it might be insulting to you guys when people are celebrating. Like, who are these guys? Where'd they come from? But where did you come from? What was it? Take us from birth to the night before you sell this pitch. Just real quick.
We already focused on the birth for a while.
I think we've always since I think we got our high 8 camera and it was 3rd grade and we started making movies then, and we always knew we wanted to make movies. And we went to film. So it's still high 8 was like that's still analog. Like
no, I mean we weren't editing. We had we had a cassette tape, and we had Danny. We were playing Danny Elfman. Like our first movie, it was like a Magic the Gathering adaptation. Which like now Hollywood read that. They read that and they're like, oh, the fucking Duffers want to do. I'm like, that was 4th grade. I mean, or 3rd grade. I don't want to do it now. But and then we did that. And then
when you guys edited with high 8, did you?
No, we just cutting camera. I mean, just cutting camera. And then eventually we got because there wasn't. Then there was like a dual VHS editing thing, and then when we were in high school, iMovie came out, which was great, and we learned on iMovie, and then we went to film school and we made some bad stuff, and then we wrote our first script, which got us an agent, and then
where was film school?
I was at Chapman University in Orange County.
Oh, by the way, we have a lot of Columbia alum here.
Oh yeah,
Columbia College, where you and Andy went.
Yeah. I dropped out, but.
It's okay because as you can hear from the applause, they're not a famously proud school. That what you just heard is called the Columbia
the Columbia
War
chair.
Cry. Yeah, they're a stealth college. Anyways, sorry.
I don't even know how we. I mean, it's just a series of rejection. I mean, it's a series of rejection. I mean, it's like even film school. It's like USC didn't want us, and what you didn't want. They couldn't get anywhere. Like, so you just we wound up at Chapman, and you just kept writing, and we were like, we need to write our way in because no one's going to give us anything.
I think that was before we went to college is this sense of like we're going to make this amazing short film, and they're going to give us this giant movie,
you're and then swingers it.
Yeah, you're gonna exactly, and
the old festival mindset.
Yeah, but then you realize how hard that
how dead that dream is.
If any festival, every festival is rejected. I mean, like so you just. The good thing is there's 2 of us, so we like delusional together, and then we just keep going at it. And then,
do you guys pump each other up? Or are you
bring each other down, pump each other up?
So how does that work? Like, how does that is it is it like if one of you is up, the other it balances? It says let's not get cocky.
I think yeah. If he's being if he's being obnoxious or vice versa, I'd say like you're being a douche, or you sounded like a douche, or. That sounded really nice, Ross. Or whatever. I mean, whatever. So I guess that's what we do. And then,
but you guys have had moments. You got a season 2, or must have been some moment when you went out to your black Volkswagen. Oh shit! Fuck. They famously do. And closed the doors, and neither of you was telling the other one not to get cocky anymore. Like you guys, do you make out when that happens?
I was going to ask you, did you guys ever jack off together? Or?
Right. Well, that on the heels of it feels real coming from us, I guess. Those questions. We don't have to wait for an answer. The answer is no.
I'm going to wait. I'm going to be here all night.
But do you guys collectively both go up, way up, and ever go way both down?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah,
I think we go up and because the stuff's not going right. We just attack each other. It's bad. It's not. I mean, it's not. I mean, it depends. But
here's this might be a. I forgive you if you want to just lie about the answer to this because it's not a charismatic question to answer honestly, if depending on the answer. Because I was just having this conversation with somebody else where I don't like. Do you guys think? Did you think before you crossed that threshold where it was like, all right, we got it. Now we're taken care of, regardless of what's supposed to be. Like this, you'll be working for a while now. You're fine. But before that, there's a time of like, as most people experience, it's like, am I supposed to? Are we not supposed to be doing this? Are we supposed to wash dishes? In that phase, which most people experience for much longer of their lives than the other stuff, me included, like I have more memories from that time. During that time, reward my candor.
Yeah.
During that time, I just kept assuming it was going to work out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know if that's white male privilege or if that's.
I say like I like make fun that we were delusional, but very delusional. Like I just felt that it was going to work. You have to.
But they reached the. I think actually the weird thing is we've only found any success at all when it was pure panic because we didn't know what else we were going to do and we were out of money and it was just like we're fucked and like I don't even think I remember like walking by Starbucks and being like those barista jobs are like hard to get, man. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
like that's everyone. Everyone
we
wants
were worried about it.
Cody's roommate's job is she goes to Costco and she doesn't even work for Costco. That job's hard to get. She works for a lotion company because she goes to Costco and says like is one of those people at Costco that's like, hey, do you want to try some lotion for free? She works on commission. Like I don't even know how it's legal. Like it's just sort of like she might make $0 in a day. Like it's like anyways, bad economy. Okay, so or best one ever, but it's like fucking fragmented. But okay, why did I get derailed of that? Yes, the fucking like there's that. I used to go like, oh man, I'm gonna have to move back to Milwaukee, and then so I remember saying that out loud to somebody, and somebody was like, "Is there someone in Milwaukee waiting for you to come back?" Like, and for that time only, I was like, "No, God, no!" And I was like, but I just kind of kept like, it's delusional, I can't figure out. I was in the shower this morning. You're welcome, and I was thinking about that, I was like, is that a good quality or a bad quality? Because it's kind of like reconciling that with the whole kind of cultural awareness now that we're having. It's like, are we just fucking douchey privileged people? It's like that's just a symptom of luxury of like well yeah like you wait a couple of years and another white dude helps you out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think it happens like that. Let me be real clear here. I think it's hard work and nothing else. No handouts for anybody.
And if your skyscraper's the second tallest now, just wait, and one day it's going to be the tallest, and it's going to be because you worked hard, because you sacrificed.
Spencer knows what he's talking about. I mean, this guy, he's like on 2 shows as an actor. He's executive producing, and he's your chauffeur.
Yeah. And how does that happen?
The guy works hard.
Yeah, hard work.
Okay, so you guys are in the writers' room right now working on season 2. So the things that we're allowed to know are, because you would watch that. I watch a show called Stranger Things. I watch it for 10 episodes. It's serialized. For all I know, in keeping with a John Carpenter tradition or something like that, the second season's going to be like, hey, it's called Stranger Things. It's like True Detective, and it's like all of a sudden it's like 1973 in Detroit, and it's like, hey, my name's Roger McClintock, and I've seen Stranger Things than the case I'm on. She says she's a witch, but I don't believe in. The only thing I believe in is my revolver. And everyone's either booing or cheering, but that's not the case. I know that from talking to you guys, and the public knows. You guys are like, it's these characters. It's Winona and her kids, and and now even Stranger Things will happen.
Yeah, we wanted to see it as like it's like a year later, and we're trying to treat as much as we can, even though it's a scary word. Treat it like a sequel. Just because there aren't very many good ones, but the good ones are really good, right? And so the hope is that
you got to have a million Stranger Things come down, and then have Space Marines be like, lock and load.
Yeah, exactly.
There's 20 upside downs. Why did she put her in charge? It's aliens. Yeah. But did you guys know? Did you watch Halloween, and then you watch Halloween 2 when you're a kid? I mean, you guys were kids when you saw it too, I'm sure. But when I was a kid, it was happening kind of. Like watch Halloween. It was like the original. It's like the birth of Michael Myers. You watch Halloween 2. Oh, it's the sequel. It picks up where it left off. But now he's killing people in a hospital with a scalpel. And then you watch Halloween 3. It's called Season of the Witch, and it's about like a microchip in the back of a mask, and there's a mad toy manufacturer that wants to enact a Celtic tradition, and you always think when you're a consumer back then, I was like, how could they not understand? But then now you've probably already experienced enough to understand, like, of course that happens, because nothing happens like the way it should. Like the decisions that are made aren't happening. John Carpenter did an interview, like, and he was like, well, we did Halloween. It was like this amazing movie. Our plan the entire time was going to be to always do a new movie every Halloween. That's all we wanted to do. It was going to be an anthology. It was like he didn't even want Halloween to be so successful that Halloween 2 was demanded to the point where I don't even think he worked on it. I don't think he was allowed to. I don't even know, like that it was like oh yeah, someone else will take care of this because it's just fucking money is pouring out. It's like when you hit oil and it's just in the movies and it's just gushing out and you're like, where's all that oil going? And it's like, yeah, exactly, motherfucker, get some barrels over here. That's what's happening with you guys, right? I mean, you can say yes to that without vilifying anybody. It's just like that is the state of the union. Like, you guys didn't expect.
Yeah, but like Netflix they didn't invest in it going, this is going to be a 1 year like it was always going to be planned to be, keep going. So
right.
we had to go in with that mindset that was the intention.
But do you think
keep going?
Do you think that their attitude changed at all about like based on, I don't even know, well, who even knows what numbers they look at? But
I don't know.
We don't know.
No, we don't know. I mean, they really honestly don't tell us, and I mean, we're just trying to do. I mean, it's really scary. I mean, I don't know. I mean, now never before have we been in a position where anyone cared about what we were doing. Which is like a huge
terrifying
luxury I've realized, though. You know what I mean? Like, because it comes from much more pure place, and now there's like all this noise, and I'm like, I'm like neurotic, and I'm thinking about what other people are going to think about it. I'm like, that's bad. I gotta stop doing that.
And do you guys have each other to turn to for that?
Stop thinking about that, and then we're just trying as much as possible to just write, what we think is cool, and what we want to see, and not worry about like longevity or franchisability or any of that shit, and just write a cool second season, and then worry about the rest later, which is not necessarily how everyone wants us to be doing it. But I think it's the best thing. And I think it's going to result, in the best thing. But I don't know, because I see all these filmmakers I admire, and they mess up on sequels, and like Netflix doesn't even like us talking about sequels because it makes them nervous because there's so many bad ones. So, but it's not a traditional.
But it's a TV show. I mean,
no, but it's not traditional though, in that it ends. Right. Like we built because it built a climax and it ends, and the main tension is resolved. So it's different.
Do you think when you say that they're nervous about the sequel thing, do you think what they
it's more like the word sequel.
It's more like the word sequel.
But we like using it just because we like seeing it as it's a new tension that then also gets resolved. It was always important to us not to do the killing thing in season 1, where it's like we almost got Will, but he's in.
Oh no, he got snatched away by a larger Demogorgon.
And
it's like, oh, we got to go get that. It's like we want to do different. We want to do new, different stuff. And so I don't know. But we're excited about it. And as long as we're excited about it, I feel like we're fine. We're good.
Can you describe the worst version of the show? The worst version of season 2 as you see it in the eyes of the person that wants the worst thing for the show.
I mean,
like the thing that is your worst nightmare. Like the thing.
I know. It's sort of the because I love Home Alone. It's one of my favorite movies. Right. So, but when I was like a kid, and Home Alone 2 came out, I was like 8 or whatever. I was like, what the fuck is this? It's like. It's the exact same thing. They've just slotted in the pigeon lady for the shovel guy, and
right. Do you think that's? I mean,
this is bullshit.
Is that your worst nightmare?
That's the worst nightmare. So instead of communicating, like 11's lost in the Upside Down, they have to try to communicate with.
Well, why not 12?
And 11 and Winona starts to communicate with magnets. And the magnets start to move, and that's my worst nightmare of the show. I'm not interested in that at all.
And do you think? I bet you can't answer this question honestly, because I think they would. But it's like the question I want to ask is do you actually think? Because I think Netflix is justifiably deified right now. I mean, they're kind of beyond HBO at their still going peak, because at HBO you could kind of. It was still born from a non-Silicon Valley model, and so now Netflix has combined the prestige of HBO and the success of 80s NBC with the fuck you, we're doing it different and we're not sharing our thought process of Silicon Valley. And it's kind of like terrifying and titillating. I love it. Like, I
love it.
It gets a little boring hearing pitches, like having a little shitty studio in Burbank, and every time you hear a pitch, you're kind of like, so where should we take this out? Netflix? It's like, yeah, well, that's like saying, I'd like to be on TV, please. It's kind of like all of a sudden you're back to being 10 years old, but I think it's a good thing. And anyways, I guess what I was going to ask, but you can't answer this, is do you really think that they would want to see that formulaic, like, plugged-in thing, or?
I mean, ultimately, I do honestly believe they're banking on us, and then like if I make an, they're not writing the show. So if I make compelling, I make an argument, I explain why we want to do what we want to do, they back us, right. And so like
it's so crazy they did this in the first
backed us in the first place.
I don't know why. I still don't know why. It's crazy.
So it was nuts because we not only like went in and pitched it and say we wanted to show run it. We had there's no reason anyone should let us show run anything. And
never show run, or
and
our
we
only
never
movie was literally dumped. Like no one saw it. Like it's I still don't understand. I mean, I think
Andy Dick had something to do with it.
Yeah.
He has their ear. He has Netflix ear.
No, so that's what I love. I feel like I love the rebel spirit of it, like that they have. I don't want them to lose it. And I hope that they don't. I mean, because that's what I think it's given them so much success. So I just hope they keep doing it. I hope they keep making crazy fucking decisions.
Yeah,
like our show.
Yeah, and I don't know if they're that crazy. I think it's the funny thing about TV that I've watched happen is that the definition of crazy and like breaking the mold, it's practical. It's basically algorithmic, because the algorithm of television, until such time as they make a computer that can write and direct television, the algorithm suggests that the smart thing to do, as like FX would say, like the guy whose ass I kissed the most, John Landgraf, like when he talks about TV, he goes like, we don't know how to make good TV. What we know works is statistically if you just like make deals with people that you like, and you kind of like, it's like there's no, you just have to like keep making it, and then the good stuff like works and the bad stuff doesn't. It's like it's the same as in physics, where it's like everybody worked from making weird shit up to justify Newtonian stuff, like call Newton's laws the Nielsen's maybe, and it's just like, well, why is if an apple falls and hits your head, which makes perfect sense, then how come when you turn a flashlight on in a train car, the light hits the thing, and oh, that's easy, there's a boogeyman, and then Einstein is like, what if blah blah blah, and everyone's like, no, and that's me, Einstein. No, it's John Landgraf. No, it's fuck it. I'm drunk. Where's Andy? Anyways, I like the algorithmic. I love the possibly apocryphal story of them going of how House of Cards was like, people keep, they did a spreadsheet and it said Kevin Spacey and political thrillers equals blah blah blah. Even if that's not true, I don't mind living in that world.
They're punching shit in. I know.
I mean, that's before they buy the, like they run whatever numbers they run. I mean, I don't know what it is. They're plugging it into something. But
isn't that what we want, though? Because we're not Jackson Pollock. We want approval. We want to, and we want to know that we're good people because people like it.
It's not like we punched this in and said, "Oh, this would be good to write." We wrote what we were into, whatever.
No, it was a stupid thing to write, really. I mean, you're writing a show about... I mean, no one wanted to when we're pitching this around. It's like, they're kids, and they're chasing a monster, and they're like, so it's a kid's show. And it's like, no, it's not a kid's show. There's also this... You know what I mean? Like, people didn't... It was hard for people to comprehend, so it's not... For us, it was not writing it from, like, let's sell this and make this hit show. It's like, let's just try to write something that we want to see, and then hopefully, and then we didn't even have whatever that Netflix, we should take it to Netflix. We didn't even, like, I didn't even dare utter it because it's like, there's no way. It just didn't even occur to me that could be a possibility.
Which
that we should take this and sell it to Netflix. Like, I didn't want to be an asshole and say that. It just felt so unrealistic.
Well, where in God's earth did you think it would be?
I don't know. That's my point. We didn't know.
God, you guys' instincts are terrible.
Yeah.
Did you think there would be an ABC? It's fucking goofy.
What did we? I
don't know. We were just being... It was really naive. I don't know. But, yeah.
So how did you take it to Netflix?
The weird thing is that because we were so not established, and then we were working with a producer that we liked, Sean Levy, but he's a film guy, he's not a TV guy. So it was basically, it was a terrible package. It was a terrible television package. And so we were like, let's go around to studios, not actually to networks, which, they're the, like for instance, a company called MRC helps fund House of Cards, but they don't, and then Netflix airs it. They help pay for it. So we're like, let's get one of these people, and that'll make it a sexier package. And so we are going around doing that, and then mostly we were getting passes, we were getting a few interests, and then somehow Netflix heard about it. They were the only network or anything that we pitched to the whole time.
Netflix just heard about it.
Well, no.
They have cameras everywhere.
Yeah. No, it was specifically, it was like a TV agent, like at a breakfast, pitching other shit into the Netflix executive, and him going, "Oh, we're looking for stuff."
So lucky. They're
like for like young adults, we're looking for we like Supernatural.
And 80s films do really well for us. Like, it was just
it was like, oh, they're talking about the shit in their algorithm, I think, that they were looking for. And he's like, "Well, I happen to have this thing. We have 2 studios who want it." He's like, "Give it to me now over the weekend," and then it happened really fast. And I think it helped. You know how things work? Like, you can't get that first bite, but then once one person is interested in it, it's suddenly like, oh, it's a thing.
Right.
Like, oh, people like this.
Like,
It's legitimate. Like, it's legitimate. Because we had like 12, 15 passes, and then one person bought it, and then suddenly everyone's like, oh my God, this is amazing. I was like, it didn't change in a week. Like, it's like someone just liked one person liked it, and then it's a snowball effect.
They're so
and then and during that, while I was having that snowball effect, someone at Netflix heard about it.
So the immediate audience here, I don't know if it's still a thing, but everybody's going like, okay, so what do I do? And I never know how to answer that question.
Well, you obviously you make something that you love and hope it just gets out.
That's because for us, at least for us, for so long, that's what you're saying. We were writing stuff that like we thought. Like, we'd meet with these producers or whatnot, and they were like, this is what we're looking for.
But the weird thing is,
Paranormal Activity.
You guys are directors and writers, but you did come to a point which is a little... There's a way to look at this in a disheartening way, which is that because directors shoot stuff and writers write kind of documents suggesting you shoot stuff later, and you guys made a decision to pull out of the shooting of stuff, which is that advice, which is Channel 101, which is like, hey man, do what you're gonna do if you're allowed to do anything, and and you guys were like, let's not make short films anymore, let's write scripts, and that'll be the path. I don't know, are we telling these kids to go in their backyard and shoot home movies, or are we telling them to run over their keyboards? I mean, I know that the simple answer is if you want to be a writer, run over your keyboards, but you guys are auteurs. Tell the auteurs what to do.
I think you do both. I mean, I think it's super. I mean, first of all, though, I never understood that advice of like, oh, go shoot. Maybe you can do it now, but it was like, oh, anyone can go make stuff. When these filmmakers were talking, like, anyone can go make stuff now. It's so cheap. It's like, no, it's not. Like, it's fucking expensive. That always made me mad. Like, you just go make something. It's like, just to get good audio is expensive.
Audio is the hardest thing.
Like, it's audio and getting the lights and getting the people together, and like it ends up being like a big endeavor. So it like always made me mad that it's so easy now with technology that anyone can just go out and make something. It's like, it's not true. And if you're not into visual effects, which we're not, we don't know shit about visual effects. Like, you're not going to make. There's zero chance of making something that's going to get you in the door. Like, that's just my feeling.
There's like those Sundance movies that are shot on an iPhone or whatever. Like, I think that is a route. I think for it's a hard route that it does not. It's honestly one of the hardest routes, I think, which is to make those films and hope it gets into those festivals, and hopes that the percentage that is so small. So it was us doing a little bit of.
Okay, but even like Tangerine is like over $100,000. I mean, it's like, not
cheap. It's not like
you don't have $50 in your pocket.
But I think what we realized is that a part of this was because when we were at Chapman, you're going around and we're interning at these production companies, and you're reading these scripts, right? And these are scripts that are from people that we saw had representation. A lot of this stuff they were getting paid to write this stuff, and a lot of it's not very good. A lot of these scripts in Hollywood needs content. Everyone needs content. So it was us going, if we can teach ourselves how to do this, then I think there's at least will be a crack in the door that we can get through.
I do really believe, and maybe it's super naive, but I feel like because the minute once we wrote something I actually deep down thought was actually okay, like it kind of worked. It ended up eventually selling. Which was because I knew the other stuff that we had written, like I knew I just knew. I mean, I just like if I was really, really honest with myself, I knew it wasn't good enough. And then when we got to that place, and I thought it was good enough, it ended up selling. So I feel like if you fail enough and you try enough, and I don't know. That's what worked for us. I mean, we fumbled around for so long.
So we're saying that the internet has become such a glut that actually, truly, and I'm not going to agree with this yet, but what's on the table is the idea that whereas in 2002, when I was spouting it the most, like, you know, you want to make a TV show, you have a camera in your pocket, grab it, fuck the audio, make the TV show, put it online, keep doing it, talent will out. That we've actually hit a point, maybe the theory would be, we've hit a point where it's like, there's too much shit, and the internet is oxygen. It is just the air around us, and it's no more shocking that anybody in this room knows how to make a video about two people farting and flying in the flying saucer than it is to it doesn't matter. There's too much shit to click on, and everyone's got too much shit going on, and so we focus on scripts as a document because it's sort of like part of the old world, and we like write up our idea of like fade in on this and cut to that, and this is our idea. Is that because the agency mechanism is still in control, like maybe, that it's still
I mean, I think that I think what you're saying, I mean, I think people are doing that where they're making that stuff and it's cutting through. I just think it's so percentage wise, right? It's got to be pretty low. I mean, because there's, like you said, there's just so much.
It's also just kind of random.
I don't know what's going on YouTube. Like, I don't understand some of the stuff.
No, because I'm not even on Twitter, but on, I was searching Twitter to see what people are saying about the show, and you click on these people, and they got like 10 million followers. And I was like, I don't know who this YouTube star is.
Yeah. So I feel like
So we should not be talking about this.
We shouldn't be talking about it. Yeah, I don't know. Right? That's
okay. Yeah, we shouldn't be talking about it. I think the world agrees. Yeah, let's all stop talking about it. Let's talk about race. I think that. All right. If your eyes can really pop out.
That was craziness.
Oh, how many episodes are you doing? Season 2?
9.
Oh, okay.
Which is weird, but it's great.
It's a little warning shot.
What's a warning shot?
Is it one less than the first season?
Well, no, one more.
Oh, okay. It's a little gummy bear.
Yeah, it's a little...
filled with NyQuil.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a weird time to be doing this because it's one of the first times that I can think of that you can come up with an idea and you can go, well, this is how long this story is. It's 5 hours and 30 minutes and 20 seconds, and that's just how it is. And you can actually put that out. And I don't know I can't think of another instance. I mean, usually you're writing to commercials or you're writing to, why are movies 2 hours? Is it like because you have to pee?
I'm still trying to adjust to all this because I just can't. It's based on some kind of thing, and that's the same with the 22 minutes, the 45 minutes. I'm raised in front of Cheers watching TV, and so I come up in the 21st century, and I'm like this craftsman, and I'm like, this other show is shittier than mine because it's doing serialized storytelling, and that's a cheap tactic. And now I'm in this world where it's like, hey, old man, like this isn't serialized. Hello, and I'm like, sorry, I'll try to serialize it for you. But as I try to like shake it, like as I'm like it's sad. It just reminds me of like the SNL sketch where Dana Carvey was playing Johnny Carson in a post-Arsenio world who had his fingers elongated because Arsenio has long fingers, so it was called Carsenio, and it was Dana Carvey doing Arsenio as Johnny Carson and going like, ugh, woof, 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 woof. That's how I feel when I think about serializing something that I'm writing. Like, oh, this is going to be binge-worthy and all this stuff. It's like, wait, I feel like I'm purposely... I can't tell when I'm stooping, when I'm evolving, and when I should just retire. And it's like, well, if I that serialization thing is like a big fucking weird mindfuck for me.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's because you're growing. I mean, because we're different because we grew up on, and I didn't grow up on watching much TV, to be honest. So we grew up on movies and movie structures. So that's kind of what I think that's what drew us to it, and also because the movie industry is so sad. Like we try to get into the movies, and it was it's a little depressing right now. And there was so much in TV, and whenever we went to TV meetings, or even not just with producers who did movies and TV, they're like, "Well, what are your TV ideas? What are your TV ideas?" Because they need content so desperately.
Are you guys just taking a movie and breaking it up?
Yeah, we're just like that's basically what we're doing.
Is that why the guy goes, the cop guy goes to the lab, and then he's like, "Oh man, there's a lab here," and then they like knock him out, and then he wakes up and he's like, "Back to being a cop." Is it?
That's more like us running ourselves into a hole. And then being like,
well, that's what I mean. Kind of. It's like he's like, "Well, you can't go forward with that, or the movie."
No, it's done. It's done.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it's almost like it's like 4 movies. I mean, it's 8 hours.
It's like a Lord of the Rings. Like when I was like, Lord of the Rings, great. 1 book, 1 movie, 3, awesome. 11 years of our lives, and and then they're like, now let's do The Hobbit. I'm like, what? It as 3 movies? I'm like, so one of your movies is going to be about riding barrels, like for sure. And sure enough, in fact, it was like, let's ride these barrels. And they're like, watch out, it's the barrel wizard. What? I'm the barrel wizard. Would you like to keep riding the barrels? But yeah, because okay. So well, at the outset of season 2, did you? Because you're already. Did you do a whole like okay? Here's what's going to happen from beginning, middle, end in the whole season, and then you chopped it up like a little pie.
Yeah, you pretty essentially. Yeah, I mean, but obviously it just keeps evolving and changing as you're going. Because once you get in there, I mean, what we found at least is I can't force these characters to do something. So sometimes we're trying to force someone to go in a direction, and it's like, well, they just don't want to do that. That feels stupid, and so then it just keeps changing and evolving. But if we know where where we're going, eventually that's the goal. And the same thing with season 2. It keeps evolving, but we know what that destination is.
Can I pitch you guys something?
Yeah, sure.
You probably don't like when this happens, but it's not like I'm a waiter. I made Community. And I know you don't want to be pigeonholed as the 80s guys, but you know Encyclopedia Brown?
Yeah.
Because I just want to make Encyclopedia Brown, but like Chinatown. Like he's the smartest kid on the block, which means he has Asperger's, but he's like, it's hard for him to deal with people, but he can solve crimes, and it's like, but it's hardcore. He's like a kid detective. Hey, who stole your bike? I found it out. It's the mystery of the missing bike. And then like every good film noir movie, he like some grown-up comes to him in this garage detective agency, and he's like, you just do it stylistically, like, this is why it's up your alley. You guys it can be a Duffer Brothers thing. I'll just write it. Like, you guys can, like, I don't want to be famous anymore. I want to retire. So like you guys, like, it's a Duffer Brothers presents Encyclopedia Brown, but for reals. And so like a grown-up comes in, like Michael Madsen comes into the garage, and then this like good kid actor that you guys find and I don't have to deal with, like he's like, would you? We don't get many grown-ups in here, Mr. Smizzle, Robert Smizzle. Would you like a drink? I have a, and because he lives with his, fuck Encyclopedia Brown. Don't give him any money. Like but it's based on that. We'll erase the part where I legally left a paper trail, but like. But he's Encyclopedia Brown, and so it's like, okay, mystery of the missing grapes, I got it. Well, the grapes were here, and there's more because the hose was out before. And okay, good job, and you got that bike back, and beat that bully. Here's your 3 carrots. But then he like gets a grown-up job, and it's like clearly, he shows up, and there's a fucking dead body. Like, he's supposed to just go somewhere and like, I think there's a bike and I want you to get it back, and there's like, but it's like a grown-up, and he's like, I need a kid. There's like, kid can get in a doggy door. I can't, whatever his thing is. And then, but it's clearly he's been set up. Like, he's supposed to witness it's like he's being used, and he's been fucking set up. That's the threshold you cross. Someone just fucked with Encyclopedia Brown. and he's like, fuck this, and he has this like voiceover. Like I've always wanted to write something with voiceover. Like, but it's like I always hate it, but it's like I'll do it. You guys direct it. Where he's like fucking somebody fucked with me today. Like, and I had a deal with society. It's like I'd be smart and keep my head down and help them solve their fucking mysteries, and they wouldn't fuck with me, but they just fuck, and they wouldn't use the F word this much. It's not a David Mamet play, but I'm just saying, like, he's the outrage. Like he's like uncorked. He's like a super genius, and it hurts to be this smart. And he lost his parents. It's like, do you ever see Zero Effect with Bill Pullman? Yeah. Like it's like it's like that, but a kid. He's fucking mentally unhinged. That's why he's so good at solving crimes. Or it's like Criminal Intent with D'Onofrio. Like it's like he's fucking like he's kind of twitchy, and like and there is like a girl like what was her name, like Kimball or whatever, Kimber, like there was a girl in Encyclopedia Brown who was like the muscle, but was like also like his Watson, but she was kind of like she also was bigger because girls mature faster, so she could beat up Bugs Meany. Anyways, but he's like, so there's like a little love story to it, but it's like so. But I'm just saying, like fucking deep and dark, like Chinatown, like Chinatown dark, but with a kid, and he's been sucked into a grown-up world of murder, and they're trying to play him, and he's like, I've played this fucking role, and like now I got to use my own like detective skills to like play with these grown-ups, and it's like badass, and it can be set in the 80s or not, but you guys will probably be like, we can't because we don't be the 80s guys, and I'll be like, fine. We'll do it like It Follows, where like it's kind of feels like the 80s, but then someone's got like a DVR or something. Yeah. And you guys can be like, we're growing, and I'll be like, so like you guys are into it. We'll go to Netflix, because every time I go there, I'm like buzzing, and I'm like, it's Dan Harmon. Community. And they're like, what? I went, so if I went in with you guys, or you guys go in with that idea, have someone else write it. Encyclopedia Brown, but there's a fucking pool of crusted blood on a carpet on page 17. That's like, and then it goes, wow. It says Encyclopedia Brown, but for reals, in red neon, with a like serif-laden neon font. Now you're into it.
Yeah, that's good. I see it. I get it.
Do you guys like Lockout, that space movie? It was like Die Hard in Space.
Oh, the one that
ripped off. I guess it ripped off Escape from New York. They sued him. I don't know. I mean, if
they won that, yeah,
he won.
I know, but that's kind of weird to me. Like I didn't. If you can sue for that, like I'd be in big trouble. Like I felt like Zemeckis is going to be calling.
I saw like a Q&A with him, and they were talking to John Carpenter, and he had someone who were like, "What do you think about these? All these remakes of your movies?" He's like, he loves them because he gets paid. Like he gets.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. So I'm with Lockout. He's like, "Fuck this! I'm not getting paid for this. Like you remade this, paid for this." Oh, sure that's why he's mad. That's why he sued. I'm sure.
But it's just okay. Yeah, I don't want to knock his point of view or I didn't
see it. Did you see it?
Yeah, I did. And I thought it was just
Guy Pearce.
I thought it was Die Hard in space. I didn't really think. I mean, I recognized devices used in Escape from New York, but I didn't think that those devices were the light bulb. I thought that they were kind of like
I don't know.
But now I feel like I'm going to get in trouble with people I admire. So I'll stop there. If John Carpenter
thought, just seen if you can rip off Encyclopedia Brown. Is that what?
There was a point where I had a meeting. There was somebody that controlled the rights to Encyclopedia Brown, and then my agent at UCA was like, "Okay, you're going to meet her at the." And I was like, I came in and it was like 10 a.m. and I ordered a vodka on the rocks, and she's like, you're drinking at 10 a.m. Why? And I said, because I'm amazing. And then they never. I was like, and then I pitched them a great take on Encyclopedia Brown, like the blood and the. They never called back.
That's weird.
I think Bugs Meany is behind it. I think we can solve it. Hey, how are you?
Hi. I don't know that much about the 80s.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you do. It's when you.
I stopped watching everything in the 80s. I got out of my parents' house and I just started fucking.
So did you think when the Goonies and E.T. and everything was happening, were you like, this is a golden age of cinema, or were you like, these kids are dumb?
Dumb.
All right. All right. Two sides to every story. Well, Duffer Brothers, are you plugging anything?
Skull juice. Say skull juice.
Skull juice is coming out. Oh, do we need to talk about MeUndies or Pogo Sticks or anything?
No, we do not.
Did MeUndies drop us?
No, it's all fine.
Okay.
We could
everyone hear
demonstrate our skills though at advertise reading if we wanted to.
Because I don't want to threaten MeUndies if the relationship's good, but I do want to point out that I mean, they may think they have us by the short hairs, but their product could be so easily pooped in. Like, you could just shit your pants on stage, just be like...
Our whole commercial in New York was about people shitting their pants during the MeUndies commercial.
And they loved it. Okay. Well, thank God it's a great product.
Yeah.
But your 20-minute commercial or whatever was the best thing I ever heard.
Wow, thanks, man. Thanks.
Yeah. I'm not just saying that because we're friends, because I kind of, because we're friends, I kind of hate you.
No, you don't like a lot about me.
Yeah.
All right, well, I should probably do a rap.
Yeah.
But like a sitting down rap.
Oh shit! This isn't the return of sit down rapper, is it?
Don't remember him.
Oh.
or that thing about
he didn't care about your needs.
Yo. Oh. Yo.
Yo.
Oh. Yo. Fuck. Yo.
Hold on.
Yo.
East side, west side, north side, south.
Fuck your mama in the head.
In the mouth. I fucked your mama all the long day.
I fucked your mama because my name is Shay. Shay Johnson. A new character.
My name is Shay Johnson. I live on 3rd Street. I like to go to the haircut in Beach Street.
I like to get my hairs cut on the side and on the top, and then I take them for a ride. Say, look how much short my hair's got. And then the women say, oh man, look what you got. And then I say, you want to smoke some pot? And they come back to my house and I say, my soul's rotten.
Cause I'm a depressed rapper from the new era of hip-hopper. I'm gonna kill myself with my lyrical madness. And why you calling me? I don't know why you don't call me. I don't know why everybody got a problem with me. I'm just a depressed rapper. I'm so depressed. God hates me. I'm so depressed. I'm a depressed rapper
with an auto-tune effect.
I'm a depressed rapper.
Like all the rappers are. You don't hear anybody using this effect to say something cool like,
hey,
I had a great day today. I really felt like I had a win. I had an audition, and I feel like I'm in the system. No, I'm going to wish them well. I'm going to go down to New Orleans and help them stack sandbags, you know what I mean, to save their lives from the incoming flood. I'm going to donate my money and donate my blood because I know people need help, and I'm going to go to a restaurant with a good Yelp score because I want deconstructed lasagna and some more foam soup because I'm a rapper and I've got a lot of positive things to say. It goes like this.
I want to kill myself. Why don't you pay me for fucking you on the shelf? I need you to
pay to fuck you or I'm gonna kill myself. Why does your face make me feel like I can't feel my face? I'm gonna go to hell when I die because I got problems. Oh my God, I feel so bad about myself. I feel bad about myself. But the Duffer Brothers in the house. I fucked your mother till her pussy got tight as a mouse. Your mama's pussy stole some cheese from me. And I ran after it like a cat and it tried to fool me. Your mama's pussy ran into a hole. I reached my hand into it and put a stick of dynamite in my hand. Dressed like a mouse. The dynamite was dressed like a mouse. The dynamite was dressed like a mouse. Yo, take it away.
Yo, I'm MC Dynamite Mouse.
No, don't take it.
For real, you made me come here.
It was a impulsive
thought. You told me to come all the way over here and rap.
I changed my mind. Don't make me get mad. Oh.
Yeah, right.
Fuck you. 9/11.
Happy 9/11!
9/11. Don't forget 9/11. Yo, when those towers came down, my heart came down, my aortic valve came down, but my heart was the tallest, and now it's the ballest. Yo, I never forget when I fuck your mama so hard her 9/11 gets wet. I made her pussy so wide I flew 2 planes inside. Now she came and then she died. Yo, but then she went to, oh shit, oh fuck, what the fuck, what shit. God damn, it was like a terrorist attack, woke a sleeping giant. Yo, get the UN's consent before you invade a country.
Thank you for coming to Harmontown, everybody.
The Duffer Brothers.
Duffer Brothers.
Give them a chance. Will you give them a chance when you see their show on Netflix?
Andy
Just give them a
Dick.
chance. And
Dustin Marshall.
listen to Skull Juice with Dino.
Listen to Skull Juice.
Have a great night.
Go listen to Skull Juice.
Take care.
Did you get any of that?
It's a good show.
Feral Audio.